Game demos are back. Yes, the empire of DRM, pre-order and free-to-play had us in their grasp for quite a while. But now there's a power fighting back, an ancient tradition called video game demos, and it's here to make the gaming world great again. Whom do we owe this? Well, it's quite obvious. Demos are back thanks to Epic Games. Yes, because of the company that brings you free and minor indie titles such as Ark, GTA or the Metro series. Well, for free, Mr. N, or well, let's just call him Gabe for privacy's sake, brought us demos of games he actually never made, or Steve, for free, for a short time only. Well, let's enjoy this for all it's worth, because in this 3-part series I decided to have a look at 21 of them. So here comes Steam Next Fest, whatever, just roll the damn footage. Welcome to the Bakery Simulator. Oh god, it's one of those simulator games. Well, let's get this over with, the cooking simulator seemed to be fine after all. Have you ever dreamed of your own bakery? One with a pinboard across a wall? You're getting lucky, because this bakery is very special. Be it randomly appearing folders or semi-transparent alpha walls that restrict you of your movement faster than the average American cobbleman with non-Irish tan. After figuring out that wheel menus are absolutely keyboard and mobile friendly, we are starting with a simple task. Make buns. No, not the Japanese made ones with the hairs, you know. Since the recipe is given, we are moving into the step-by-step or rather meter-by-meter task of making these little buggers. First step, filling the magically appearing bowl with all the ingredients that we need to make these little buggers. Obviously, the bakery has been run by a Republican voter as we have no flour and need to order it first. Thanks to Amazon's new instant teleporter delivery, the flour and any other ingredients we may ever need in this game appear instantly. Take that, Windows Update. Naturally, as any baker knows, bowls cannot be filled if placed on a table. In fact, the professional chef baker knows to hold the bowl in hands and fill it with random things from the shelves, showing off incredible balance. Do not mind the lack of a sink, water bottles are made of environmental friendly guinea pigs in this town. After enjoying the fresh breeze from above, we unfortunately have to return to gameplay. Putting the things in the machine gives us a feeling that making buns is quite a simple task. Oh, what a mistake! You see, buns are not just made out of dough and unicorn sweat. No, it's made of hard physical labor and the power of totally necessary minigames. Thanks to years training my wrist, I know just when to push the spacebar with the right amount of power. Unfortunately, the premature baking holds at the open the bra minigame, followed by a pick the only correct tray in the bakery game. The oven, obviously not made for multiple racks, is especially convincing us of the simulation aspect of this demo. Having waited just the right amount of split seconds, our buns almost smell through the flat screen, don't they? Now it is time to take these 2 buns in a box, fitting to my growing ego as a master baker. Time to deliver. Yes, we at XZane Bakery do deliver your 2 buns right away. Do not mind me not having a driving license, it totally doesn't show. Neither do other humans in this Silent Hill simulator, sponsored by this majestic Lada Niva and the driving action openly challenging Project Cars. A few alpha walls, as these are the better driving instructors anyway, and a very aggressive pink car later, we migrate to the empty bus lane and enjoy the always green lights of Raccoon City until the final destination. Another bakery obviously running out of buns. What a great gaming experience! Croak Apocalypse. I'm so looking forward to the kind of game that is. Enter your first name. Well, that is a job I can do. Perhaps. Seriously. Maybe? Oh my god, it is. A visual novel. It's kinda like syphilis or COVID. There are things in this life that you don't want, and visual novels usually are among them, because either they are senselessly pornographic or, quite frankly, boring as hell. And as you can see, I'm very carefully reading all the lines of text in this game that actually appears with a lot of multiple choices. Oh, the consequences. I cannot expect. What the hell is going... And all the monetization goes out the window, not that I ever had one. Quite obviously, this crocodile tail wearing nemesis is in dire trouble, and being a sufficient young man, or in this game probably some kind of teenage virgin, we will do our best to... Well, we have physics in the game. I mean actual physics. And obviously we read all of that. Being a skillful visual novel reader, we don't even care about the images in the background. All we do is reading the text to never ever miss out on this. Boy, this stuff goes on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. You know, to summarize the whole story that I totally did not skip out on, there's probably some kind of random monster girl appearing in a bathroom, and now randomly they have to live together under the same roof. Yeah, you know, we all have those games that we are not exactly proud of that we ever played, but then again there are games that are not even games, and I mean, is this even legal outside of Japan? I don't know. You know, let's get rid of this now. Then again, this game really shows how dramatic consequences like bathing yourself could potentially be. So I'm really looking forward to the content of this game, and that is actually in-game footage. And I'm very disappointed to not show you all the content that it would have in the final game. If you really want to see it, go buy the original. Oh, God Lord, please remove that Steam. Seriously, all of these games. Unlike the very two first examples, Drill Deal is actually a game I can recommend. Unlike the sudden fact that many of these games seem to not really know how to make a tutorial, and Drill Deal is not exactly an exception to that, it is quite a charming game. It's kind of like a voxel-like, Lego-style, cube world-ish oil tycoon on the sea management simulation and society game. I'm not exactly sure what this game is supposed to be, but you basically have your own platform and you're starting to build it up from scratch, having entertainment for all your people that you need, and you take it on small missions, and you have some funny little pirates that for some apparent reason needed to be in the game. I don't know why exactly, but yeah, remembering it was quite an interesting game. The graphics of the game are not exactly too pleasing for my rather weak eyes, but overall the small little people on the platform are kind of charming. It's kind of like, yeah, Cube World as management simulation on the sea. And let's be reasonable, in this dire heat summer you take any kind of refreshment that you can take, and while I am considering to play The Long Dark for the first time, free to Epic Games, that was an inside joke, you actually do tend to play a game like that. And I remember that all the day and night shifts and all the assign people to this and that, that's kind of like a micromanagement, and then you have all the overlays with tons of information that I personally think you can see on screen are a little bit too much for the game. But apart from that, yeah, it's nice, it's appealingly looking, the graphic style and the camera movements are not exactly too good, and again, the way that they make the tutorials work, like many of these demos, you know, back in the old day, like Anno or Settlers used to have great tutorials. I don't know why these games, well, it's small studios probably. Nonetheless, yeah, it's something that I can wholeheartedly recommend, so go ahead and try it out, and if you had the demo or if you're intending to buy the game, it might be actually something for you. Game number 4 in this special is Farlanders, and it's by far the most recommendable one under the first 7 games. It's some kind of a puzzle strategy colonization game with a semi-decent story, to put it mildly. Overall, let's not stretch the word story too much here, but it actually has a couple of things going for itself. Since the game forgot to mention, this is Nicole, and Nicole is actually you. Yes, I figured that out later on. I have no idea why she's throwing up an apple into the air and what that has to do with colonizing Mars, but you know what? Let's not be too picky in that kind of games. And let's not discuss humor, since this video is no better example of that. And here is what you actually do in this kind of game. You manage the resources that you have, namely being food, water, crystals as some kind of producing resource, and energy, not to mention the kind of people that you have and the workers. Every couple of rounds, and yes, this is a turn-based strategy game, and I like it for that very, very much, may I say. The whole game is focused on you terraforming the environment, which usually is very much to your disadvantage, and trying to build up the base bigger and bigger without to disturb yourself, since actually getting water from a pump is disturbing the crop fields around it, and this kind of semi-schematic makes you or forces you to actually consider where to build what, when, why, and what kind of consequences it has. And yes, terraforming is kind of like a puzzle, so you're literally playing some kind of colonization Tetris, but actually it took me half an hour to get into it, since it was so freaking hard when I played these games, and it still is. But never mind, actually it was kind of addictive. Before I knew what was happening, I was playing it for an hour, and then I played it for a second hour before I forced myself to stop it, because it's really that kind of game where you think to yourself, just another round. With early access kind of content like this, you always have to be aware that features may or may not change, and that storylines may or may not be added or removed. But the bottom line is that this game has a lot of potential. The whole getting addicted to placing something, removing it, trying to place it new again and so on is really something that many players out there will enjoy, especially if you like something like Factorio. This game indefinitely is going to be something for you, so I really push my thumbs to the end, hoping that the devs make out a great game. I don't even know how much the demo has in it, but yeah, it's going to be on my waitlist for a very long time until I get my hands on it, because this is indefinitely something nice, and as you can see, the content is absolutely worth it. Hotel Magnate is the perfect example of what you expect if you start to build up some walls in a random environment and try to make it a hotel. Personally, I have been working in a pension, so I expect a very realistic simulation here. The game starts fairly simple, with Grandma Biden telling us that we are the new manager and that we should build up a new hotel. Well, she didn't mention that I actually have to build it wall by wall, but let's get into it. As it goes with tutorials, a little red indicator shows us where to build, and obviously this game decided that building walls in rectangle and right angle sphere is kinda a challenge. But then again, it's just a basic hotel, motel, whatever. I mean, it's in the mountains of Canada and nobody will ever know, because whomever is going to decide to check in here is probably going to be ripped off of the organs, so, well, that's how life is. Building a front desk, check. Hiring a McMahon, legitimate son of Vince and whomever else, McMahon. And checking what else we can do. Bold colors, I could not care less. You know, the typical thing with those demos are, we just don't read the tutorials in the first place, we just want to play. Why do I even bother click on tutorial? Oh right, because I don't have another choice here. And that is going to be an interesting hotel if I cannot build any. For God forsake, will you just stop? I actually like myself a video game with an increased difficulty to actually build anything in the way that I'm into. God damn it, even Minecraft is more precise on. You know what, I'm giving up. Who needs straight walls in the first place? I mean, we are a modern liberal hotel with lots of liberal rights, and you will see what I mean in just a minute. So let's build a little bit of that and a little bit of that, and here and a wall maybe. No, then over here. I got forsake. You know, we used to have Egyptian owners, so why not building some hieroglyphs right on the screen? Oh, hold on! No, there, snap angle. Will you stop? For God, I just want. That's fine. That's perfectly as I intended. Actually, Grandma Biden's expectations in hotel rooms are rather low, since the only thing we require is a bed and perhaps a door to actually enter the room. Apart from that, we don't need anything. I mean, who needs windows or, I don't know, shower maybe, or, you know, So great, everything is done, and now the only thing we have to do is to actually wait for customers. And there we have the first two. Ah, isn't it lovely to be in our hotel? Yeah, get into your room while I'm actually doing the building. You want to sleep in some hypnotic black and white pattern tiles? Go ahead. Personally, not my taste, but then again, I'm not paying for this room. Yeah, maybe make it look like a prison block. Oh yeah, that's my taste. That's so Van Gogh, you know, you gotta give it some credit in a modern world. Yeah, a little bit of desert feeling in the mountains to warm up. Nice and cozy. Yeah, a little bit of Beetlejuice on the floor, that's fine, but now that I think about it, the floor might need some extra equipment, and I just have the right idea for that. Yeah, I almost forgot to add an actual toilet into the hotel room. Or maybe, well, the rooms are still full to the brim, so add them to the floor, that's fine. Customer quality service. Ophelia Orlando is sleeping, and we are watching closely. Vicky Virgil, we are looking so closely since she actually forgot to close the door. And the bed is very close to the door, so... Don't you want to undress? I don't know, I mean, it's getting late in the night, and that's not comfy, isn't it? That is Hotel Magnate, a game that allows you to play and live out your dreams. Whew, yeah. You ought to be reasonable here. I mean, that's a quality hotel with a bathroom. On the floor. I mean, that's shared modern living. And you have to get used to it. I mean, we are in times of financial crisis probably. Very soon. I mean, somehow we have to pay for the pandemic, and this is the hotel for the politician of tomorrow, I guess. Kinda. Probably not. Anyway, let's continue. We have to build a kitchen after all. Actually, I would love to build a kitchen and restaurant area, but this is the next part of the tutorial, and we are still waiting for the third guest, and it's no one appearing, so we'll have to watch our two visitors for quite a couple of days, and I think I will skip that for you. Demo games are so fun. Personally, I don't see why people have so much issues with House Flipper and the likes. I mean, look at Hotel Magnate, that's how easy you can build rooms with a professional toolset like this one where the room is... I think I figured it out. This game is wanting me to build individual rooms somewhere in the landscape and then connect them with floors through single walls, but who actually thinks like that? I mean, that's like ridiculous. We have made rooms in video games for decades and still somebody thinks they have the more clever idea. Well, equipping rooms is fairly simple. I mean, after we started hiring someone, or a couple of more sums, we actually have to build some tables and stuff, and let's get out of this as soon as possible. Game number 6 of 7 today is Idol Manager. A game that supposedly makes me manage idols. If you don't know what that means, that's the Japanese version of slavery from young girls, so we're all doomed. I am supposed to actually give myself a name and a gender, that's fine, I can do that. I'm a professional YouTube amateur thingamy, and names are not easy. But it's Idol Manager and we need an actual catchphrase name, because we're the manager. That's what the game tells me so far, so yeah. Why do we have to have a last name? I mean, Jesus never had one. After about 35 minutes of loading screen, or probably just 30 seconds, we are trapped in a visual novel. Good lord, not again! After me weeping about this misery for a couple of minutes, we're down to chapter 1 of the demo. Probably starting a business now. For as long as I don't have to build rooms, but I have a feeling that, oh my god, get rid of that! Kill it with fire or something. You know, actually starting a business is quite simple. You just use your mouse and point and click on something, a room is magically built for you. And the next thing you need to do is hire some staff that is probably highly qualified and totally underpaid. Ah, the joy of management. We have spent some days with Audition, And some girls aged 10 to 12 are probably here now. I mean, this is a idol manager and we all know how this works, so we pick the girl that looks the youngest and makes us the most profit out of it. Because pedophilia is a thing in the world. 21, are you kidding me? She's allowed to drive. No way! Amorous. Okay, maybe she has a chance with that. And by the way, we can pick any number of those 5 for now, so we are probably going to build ourselves a harem. Since I've decided that we are going to enslave all 5 of these, it's time for loot boxing because nothing else we do right now. And the final card is giving us some special players. Oh, great! And I didn't even have to pay in some kind of DLC or pay to win content. And, well, she's not amorous, so I probably have to restart the whole damn game again. The downside to being a manager is that you actually have to talk to people, especially to your own employees, and that is not so fun if they are as dumb as humanly possible, but then again, has to be, right? There are some funny parts to this game. You can drag and drop your slaves and make them do whatever you want. You can romanticize them and actually you can give them nicknames, and I don't think the developer really cared about the consequences of that. But hey, I mean, we are just sane, mature adults and we actually know how to behave. And a game like that with so much management content, micro and macro management challenges, yeah, we really know how to behave like proper adults, and well, you know, maybe just maybe we should skip to another game at another time, another episode, because this is not exactly going to get better here, and we probably seen all the content that there is, mostly. Yeah, we've managed it. Did you figure out that the tutorial is always in the way? Well, kinda, but that's how life is. And here we get to all the information and when she got her period. God, no! Yeah, we can really talk with our people after we enforced our slaves to actually go out on a date with us, because we pay them and we trap them in our basement, so yeah, still we have to do the whole dating thing. I mean, I imagine slavery, pardon me, idol management to be a lot more different than that, but, well, that's how it is. Capital is just like idol manager, just without the underage girls and a lot more old grumpy men that you have to feed and take care of, and then you have to make sure that they don't sleep on the ground and all that other crybaby business. That's just how it is if you have to run a business and a society, but you know, that's something that people didn't tell you before. Well, that's okay. So let's get into this very interesting story of a game that actually could be very fun if it wasn't so over ridiculously tutorialized, but then again that's a demo, so well, let's skip that part. The whole thing starts with a gay couple actually introducing us in their love affair and then telling us that we have to do something. Obviously everything looks like rubbish, and it really reminds me of the original Tropico, which is always a good point in my books. And that we have to demolish a couple of things, and that we have to build a couple of things, and you know, the average settle colony management kind of game. Just with a little bit of a twist, because you people really riot all the time just because they don't have a house and they don't have something to eat, and you know, these kind of people. I do have to point out though that Capital is actually making its name proud, since the first thing that we built is actually a tax building and the second one is actually a production building. But I'm having a feeling we have to build a couple of things more. Oh, and there they pasteurize me again with the needs of the people. Nothing for a great Republican like me. Oh God. Personally, I don't know what these people complain about. I mean, they have such a nice fire, a campsite, such a romantic life, and they still want us to build some kind of house just because the poor workers and the nobles sleep on the ground and I have my mayor's residence. I mean, you know, not everyone can be mayor. You have to deal with the fact that you're a homeless, starving, poor, kinda oppressed person. I mean, what am I supposed to say? I'm European. I am having a feeling that they're not going to actually celebrate my rule and governance, so yeah, that's a sign. Good thing is first the poor workers are going to complain and then the bourgeoisie is coming up, so you know, I have to call my friends over from France. They have some kind of tool for that, the Gilo, Tua, Gila, I don't know what it is, but it usually takes care of that kind of business. You know, the irony about this is they are actually demolishing this, and afterwards I click on repair and they are going to repair it. So, yeah. And since that wastes a lot of resources, I have no time to build houses for them. Ha! Take that, foolish people. Alright folks, I know today's episode was a little bit strange, but the next episode and the next 7 games are probably very, very good, especially compared to the first special episode. So I'm going to color comment them on the roads, so yeah, let's have some fun. Leave some comments and remind yourself, good lord, those are demos.